Hello, this is G.E. Shaw, and this is SIME MixLR Radio, the afternoon break. As told earlier yesterday, we'll be bringing you part two of a promo from Niko Fontaine and the world of the paranormal. So sit back, chill out, and relax, and let Niko Fontaine bring you into the world of the paranormal. This is G.E. Shaw.
My name is Niko Fontaine, and what I'm about to tell you is probably going to sound a little strange. You have been warned. Welcome to Ghosts, etc. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Ghosts, etc. My name is Niko Fontaine. I'm a paranormal investigator with over 10 years of paranormal investigation experience. Today's episode is going to be dedicated to my list of paranormal classifications. That being said, I wanted to go in and thank everyone who has listened and commented on the episode Ground Zero introductory episode. We got great results, 500 listens in 9 hours. That was pretty great considering it was my first podcast up. Anyways, let's get back on topic. So the classification system is a fairly condensed list of paranormal activity. I broke it down into 7 classes, with class 1 being the most common and least threatening, and a class 7 being the least common and the most threatening. So, getting into the list, let's go ahead and begin with a class 1. A class 1 is a residual ghost. For it to qualify as a ghost, it had to be the spirit of something that was once living, a human, an animal, etc. So, a residual ghost is also going to be tied to a specific location, time, place, date, usually stuck in a never-ending loop. I believe as well that it is believed they can't see us, but we can see them. That has not been proved or disproved. It's more of a theory, I guess, at this particular point. But yeah, they are the most commonly found paranormal entities. This is basically your standard haunted house type stuff. That brings us to a class 2. A class 2 is what we consider to be an interactive and or artificial ghost. This is a ghost that has been developed through the interactions and energy levels of a large group or crowd. A great example of that, again, is like a Ouija board, a bunch of people surrounding a table and kind of chanting and kind of giving this energy out. Has the power and capability of creating this ghost. That being said, a Ouija board or even like a seance and that kind of thing has a double-edged sword. So you, on the positive end, get an interactive ghost and you have a little bit of fun for that night. On the negative end, you launch into a class 4 apparition, which is what you don't want. Actually, a class 4 is not even can't even be considered an apparition. So, anyways, before we jump ahead, let's go to a class 3. Class 3 is the ever mind-altering, stomach-turning poltergeist. The reason I call it that is because a poltergeist requires a lot more electromagnetic energy than the rest of the ghosts or spirits on this list. And I don't know if you've ever been exposed to high levels of electromagnetism, but it causes you to hallucinate, gives you feelings of nausea, just weakness, very, very flu-like symptoms, I guess would be the best way to describe this. Because poltergeist requires such high levels of electromagnetic and even ambient energy. They could drain you, creating a cold spot right where you're standing and drain you of your energy. So, long story short, we want to basically avoid contact with poltergeists at all costs. Usually, a poltergeist does end with the victim having to relocate if the poltergeist can't be removed from the home. So, anyways, let's go on to again the class 4. So, bringing us back to the opposite end of the Ouija board experience, demonics and angelics. Both are on the same plane. I have experienced more demonics than I have angelics. I actually don't think I've ever experienced an angelic form. Demonics are also the highest thing on this list that I have personally interacted with, and also the first thing on this list that can physically harm you. A warning for all my new, fresh paranormal enthusiasts: when dealing with a demon, leave it for the professionals. I mean, eventually you might get to the level of being able to manipulate and speak to a demonic, but that's not something that we like to dabble in. It really takes the fun out of the job that we do. So again, just be very, very cautious. Moving on to a class 7. Class 7s are what we call cryptics, that things that focus around cryptozoology. So these are those like legendary creatures, like we're talking about like Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster or the Chupacabra, things of that nature. Just these odd creatures in folklore. That being said as well, I mean, that's a great thing to kind of caveat into this. The common misconception of what we do as paranormal investigators is that we only ghost hunt. And that's not true. I mean, as a paranormal investigator, we study all things paranormal. Again, Bigfoot's one of them, you know what I mean? So, anyways, not to go off on a tangent, let's take us to a class 6. This is where it gets kind of weird. We're going to start with aliens. Extraterrestrials. I believe it's naive to think we are alone in the universe. That's my opinion. That being said, I mean, I've got stories about this as well that I can share, personal experiences, and of course a later episode. I want to keep you guys coming back. And yeah, so on that same plane, might sound crazy, but zombies. Now, we're not talking about George A. Romero zombies, the undead coming back, but more like, black magic or, voodoo, witchcraft, manipulating the mind and the body of an individual, putting them in a zombie-like state. So Class 6 encompasses that as well. Class 7s, this is, again, going to sound far-fetched. I'm just making the list of stuff. If there's a legend about any of this stuff, it's on my list. So this brings us to witches, warlocks, sorcerers, lycans or werewolves, vampires. This brings us to, things like leprechauns and just all these mythical creatures. I mean, in theory, a Class 7 could encompass Santa Claus. If you wanted to go there. But yeah, so that's my basic kind of condensed classification system. Let me know if I left anything out in describing. I could probably throw it in the classification system under the appropriate class type. I want to thank you guys again so much for tuning into the show once again this week. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit about the types of gear and basic tools that all paranormal investigators use while on the field, essentially allowing you to build a bare bones kit to start your own investigation. Alright guys, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you again so much for tuning in. My name is Niko Fontaine, and you've been listening to the Ghost Etc. podcast. Thank you.
And that was Niko Fontaine. And as tomorrow comes along, we'll be airing the final episode of the three-part promo for Niko Fontaine and the world of the paranormal. So stay tuned for that. This is G.E. Shaw. And the weather for today. We're looking at 70 degrees, nice, warm, but not too hot. And for Memorial Day weekend, it looks like we're going to have a nice one, with the temperatures ranging from 70 to 74 all the way through Monday. And all you basketball guys out there, fans, women, I don't want to forget the women, we will be having plenty of basketball this coming weekend. This is G.E. Shaw, and this is the afternoon break. Coming up next, Girl for Me, followed by Fortune and Fame. This is the afternoon break on SIME MixLR Radio 24/7, coming to you live from the terrace area of Starbucks in the heart of Central Tacoma.
She hold her own, she not jealous, she know what life's about. Leave me alone, don't blow me up on the fellas night out. She don't have her friends, all in our relationship. Not even her relative, they don't relate to it. She not insecure, it's not all about her, but it's all about we. That's what she prefer. I'm in search for this one, you know this one is missing. She wanna build a life, I see us in the distance, living a life the couple dream. I have envisioned, retire at an early age with a couple of billion. Wanna be crowned, queen of a city now. Pick me up when I'm down, speak with a soothing sound. Swimming through life together, she never let me drown. Second she frowns, I'll change the architect of a smile.
pluck out my eyes. I don't wanna see the fun that I'm missing. I'm wise enough to know that gold doesn't always glisten. I'm living off of rice and chop suey, 'cause champagne caviar's not for me. But I've got plans for all my dreams. I'll have my way, I'll have my say. I'll grab the next train to my fortune and fame. Hey, hey, got a gram of greatness, I've got a pound of pain, I've got a crowd and a soapbox, but I've got nothing to say. But one day I'm gonna get with it. I'll take my shot, get my 15 minutes, and it said it would be that way. And I'll have my way, I'll have my say. I'll grab the next train to my fortune and fame, and I'll take a ride to the other side, to my sunshiny day, full of fortune and fame. Know what I'm saying is not what I mean. Hey, can't get the words to clear my throat. All my life there's been this anticipation of something happening to me that probably won't. Get my 15 minutes, and it said it would be that way. Well, okay, and hey, I'll have my way, and I'll have my say. I'll grab the next train to my fortune and fame, and I'll take a ride to the other side, my sunshiny day, full of fortune and fame. Just a small town kid from way off the grid. I didn't know what I knew till I did what I did. I left my home, I left it for here, and I rolled into town with some big ideas. I washed them down with a couple of beers, and the next thing you know, I'd been here for years. City speaks to me, yeah, yeah. The city speaks to me. They walk on by me in last night's clothes, on their way back from where God only knows, and God is the only one who gives a damn. Rainbows are rising up over our heads. What happens in life doesn't matter in bed. I just get along with everyone I can. The city speaks to me, hey, yeah. The city speaks to me. Touch the ground, I'm running. Maybe someday I'm gonna something. But it's a long day, it's a long day coming, till I'm gonna leave. The city speaks to me, yeah, yeah. The city speaks to me. Ones that always felt more like home than the places where we go to sleep have been bought and sold, and you gotta let them go. Somehow I still feel I'm tugging at my soul. The memories are deep. The city speaks to me. Speaks to me, yeah, yeah. The city speaks to
Hey there, this is G.E. Shaw, and that's it for this afternoon's break on SIME MIXLR Radio 24/7. I hope you enjoyed the afternoon break. I hope you was able to relax. This is G.E. Shaw signing off for this afternoon, coming from Starbucks in the heart of Central Tacoma off of 38th Street. Until then, see you next week. Have a good day.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.